I'm a king, coming from the ghetto. I'm on fire.
So yo, what's up guys? What's up guys? We're back with Television TV. You got your boy, here on only the host, Beast. I'm out here with the Autumn Kondombe, the one and only Logically. And out here, special guest today, Khofhi TheKing. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show.
Yeah.
So yeah guys, once again it's Behind the Odds. So I was sharing interviewing the up and coming talents, our local artists, sharing the love, spreading the love, getting them the recognition that they actually need to be out here in the streets to make it. And yeah, we got Khofhi TheKing out here. But just to start us off, who is Khofhi TheKing? Was someone yes Khofhi TheKing? Who are they describing? What's the best to describe Khofhi TheKing?
Yeah. That's
Exclusive. I tell you, get the exclusives out here. Yeah.
So no, man. Okay, let me just introduce myself. I'm Sindile Kamlana, better known as Khofhi TheKing. From a group se Barcelona Machembengla in a pole.
Shout out to Basa.
Yeah, man. I'm just a creative. I love doing music. I love filming. I love. I'm a tour guide. I love meeting new people. I love food.
Really?
Yeah, I just love engaging and it's cool. People winning. That's me. That's Khofhi TheKing, and I strive to create a better place out of where I come from.
What I'm hearing now is that you're multi-talented. So before we start anything else, can you tell us? Let's start. We want to know you first. How did you come about the name Khofhi TheKing? Where did that start for you?
Started music as a DJ back in 2010, and I was influenced by a Grammy Award-winning DJ called Black Coffee. And I used to have a bald head. That funny enough, I was in this neighborhood when that happened, and I was with the guys here at Hazelton, and it was nice because I was introduced to being a DJ at Tambo by a guy called Sabelo Domo, and he helped me learn how to use a virtual DJ. And then I remember our first ever tour was just across the road. Yes, the DJs, DJ lads, and it was so amazing. And people started calling me Black Coffee. Yeah, well, and also around the neighborhood, we were calling me Black Coffee. Even in high school, in my school, people started calling me Black Coffee. And 2012, I was introduced to hip hop because there was a guy who lived just next door. His name was Usipo, and Usipo was in my class, and I was a DJ at that time, and he was a rapper. Yeah. So we had a band. I'm gonna learn how to rap. He's gonna learn how to teach. And I started rapping, and then I knew that rappers pride themselves of originality.
Yeah,
they don't want to share hip brands. So I didn't want to inherit someone's brand. Of course. So I had to change my name. Yeah, understand. And I like the word Khofhi because it was already there. It felt nice, man, because I'm black and there's the. And then I remember going online, checking if I can find Khofhi in another language. And then I couldn't find a word that I liked, but I came across Khofhi, which is Kofi. And the name originates in Ghana. And Ghana, it's given to boys who are born Friday. The next step was to actually go and check on the calendar if when I was born. And I was going to get pissed if I was not born on a Friday. At that time, I was called Ras Khofhi. So people stereotyped me a lot, and I didn't like that. Every time when my name is called on stage, they thought I'm going to play reggae music. Just to school people. So in Ethiopia, there's a language, the dominant language in Ethiopia is called Amharic. And Amharic, Ras means king. We made that, and my name was King Khofhi.
It's quite interesting. I won't lie, it's really interesting. Now, I remember you said something about being a DJ.
Yeah,
Producer.
A DJ. Were you a DJ before you became an artist?
yeah, of course.
So, how was the transition from being a DJ? How did you come from being a DJ into being a artist where who you play with a guitar? How did you find your way from being a DJ and going to that point?
So from being a DJ and then 2012, remember I changed my name and then I became a rapper.
Yeah.
So there's a guy called Easy. I don't know where he is in this lifetime. I wish I could see him my day. But that guy was a creative. You could create cartoons, draw cartoons, and make voiceovers for cartoons. And that guy had a fruit and veg stall in my neighborhood. And I remember I used to just go and stand in the counter and just have conversations with him. And I used to hear beats and he would play beats and would start rapping. But one day I heard that, nah man, this beat has been on repeat and it sounds different the more he plays it. I was like, what's going on? Why is he up to what? Yeah. And he was like, yeah, come on the other side and check it out. And he showed me Fruity Loops. I was like, I've seen this software before. And at that time it was way back. And my late friend Tando, he had a laptop and he was one of the only people who have laptops in my home at that time. I don't know, 2001. And everyone had PCs and you couldn't just go to someone's back room. So I got that privilege and he was my friend. So I would see Virtual DJ, it was familiar. But then there was this other software which was Fruity Loops. And I was like, here's this software. And I saw those guys at that time, they couldn't use it. They were forcing. And finally, I got someone who can use it, which is Easy. And Easy started teaching me how to create beats, just basics. I started wanting to meet more people who create beats. And then I happened to meet Uthumela Zulu, just 5 seats. I used to go to him. I remember recording my first song, my first hip-hop song at his studio. And then I got my first PC. Then I started creating beats. And then I started recording other artists using Samsung phones. I remember I had a plastic mic. It was this small, bruh. And we used to record. And there was this, because I couldn't understand the dynamics of his sound, we plugged the mic directly to the computer. And I used to hear this annoying sound that's like...
Oh, the feedback.
Yeah, and I didn't understand why until I understood that, okay, you need to have an interface so that you cut off the sound, you understand. And then at that point, I was creating songs from scratch, having niggas coming into the studio and recording. And then we had the privilege of having a place like Zolani Center to go and showcase what we have done in studio and also test waters.
Yeah.
So we did that a lot. And I remember in 2014, I met a guy called Yonelisa Wangi. He was like playing guitar and singing. And I remember when I got to that fruit and veg stall, I asked him, because he was packing his guitar. Then I asked him, like, can he play one beat for me? I just want to rap and show him what I can do. And he started playing. And I rapped, and he brought in a chorus. He's a good freestyler. Brought in a chorus, and everything gelled until like we stopped. And then I asked him, "Can we go to my studio because I'm working on my first mixtape, and I would like him to play a couple of things and also sing." And he was keen. Same day I met him, we went to the studio, worked on my first mixtape called Sabununga Fin. Yeah, which is now available on my SoundCloud. It had about 12 songs, and he featured, I think, in 6 songs. And then there were 2 radio improvs. So we created like an illusion of this radio station, and it was called DJ Supreme, and I was the guest. And we just created this radio station whereby we even had callers, and I think that also paved the way of me being a presenter and like having a podcast and doing all those things. And then I remember 2016 we started, he introduced me to busking in town, in Company's Garden. So we started going to town to go and busk. And then I was only rapping at that time, and we were promoting my CD. So we used to have my copies on the guitar bag, and like people would throw in money, and sometimes I would have sales. And then, you know, whenever we come back from home, we'd start at my crib, and sometimes we work all night recording music, and he'd sleep at my crib. And then in the morning, we'd leave his guitar and go and refresh at home. So that time, I'll just pick up the guitar and play whatever made sense to me. And I remember we went back to the fruit and veg stalls. So it was more like a meetup spot for the creatives and instrument players. So when I learned 2 chords. It was A sus and E minor, and I used to just play those 2 chords. And there was this guy, our frontman, that Ace. He used to say, "I'm making noise," you know. And I think that propelled me to like get my game up. And then I remember adding 2 more chords, which was G and D, and then it created this beat that I eventually did my first acoustic song, which was When the Rain is Pouring, which is a love song. And after that, I never looked back, man. I started playing more guitar, and we formed a band called the Free Spirits. We're the most popular band in town. Within 2 weeks, we're booked in venues that weren't booked as individuals. Every restaurant in town, even the Creek Jazz restaurant, one of the most iconic restaurants in town that recently got closed. I played there with the band, and it was super amazing. And yeah, I would back up now. I was at least starting to become fluent in my guitar playing, and then I would back up, and eventually I could play my own songs in 2017 March. I remember, because the band separated within 2 months, and then we became solo artists. And remember, my first solo gig was in March, and it was on TV, and I was like, damn, crazy.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, yeah, I have enough confidence to continue now.
So on that, you mentioned a lot of artists while you were coming up with actually had an influence on yourself as a career. Who would you say was your biggest inspiration or the most influential in your upcoming to the point that you are right now?
Yeah, most of the guys, because like others played like different roles. I remember JL Congo. He's a reggae artist. So my first time on stage, it was because of JL Congo. So I used to back up him whenever he's performing, because I knew all of his songs. I would be in studio. And whenever he's releasing a song, even if I'm not in studio, I would hear it before it's even released. So I would back up him. But one guy, honestly, that even made me to play guitar is Yonelisa Wambi. So he's the greatest, man. He's dope. Yeah.
Is that Yonelisa the one you're always tuning with?
Yeah.
So, with Yonelisa then, how long have you guys worked together?
Since 2014.
Are you guys still working together now?
Yeah, we are, but we hardly see each other, man. I'm a busy being, so
And niggas let it now.
So, how does it feel when you're working with Yonelisa and when you're working with Alone? Can you differentiate, like yourself? Can you say, Punje when I'm working with him, Punje when I'm not working with him?
yeah, it's obviously gonna be different. For example, last night I was working on a single, and for me, I'm in my comfort zone. I go to a direction that pleases me, and I can take my time. So it's different. With Yonelisa, sometimes it's like beats that I've already been there, and then they were just there in my computer, and then he likes it, and same time. Most of the time, it starts from freestyles, and then we build out from the freestyles. So it's always great working with him because like he can surprise you. We can take any direction with him. For me, I follow my soul and work according to what I feel at that time. But with him, we can take any direction at that time because he brings in a different energy. Yeah.
So I had a look at your work, obviously that you posted, and I saw that you've worked with many people who are from different backgrounds. Obviously, you work with people with different backgrounds, but you've also worked with people who are from different cultures. Now, when you're stepping into a different zone, the reason why I'm choosing zone is because in a certain culture, there are certain things you're not allowed to do. It's different from what you used to. So how does it feel knowing that you're going to work with someone who's totally different from your perspectives, from your background, from your beliefs, and from everything that you know? How is it working with someone that you know? Shit, there are so many stuff that I know. Like, let's say you go to another place, I want to teach Xhosa.
Yeah.
You have to speak another language than them. So how is it working with someone who's from a totally different planet that is from yours?
Yeah, it's an experience, bro. It's an experience, to tell you the honest truth. It's always nice because you see other ways of working other than the ones that you know. Yeah. And you also understand how people respect the craft. You get what I mean? So, like, I get to learn, and also I get to fuse in my style into whatever is there. You get what I mean? And of course, there's there's also experiences whereby I went to studio with someone and with high expectations, and when I get there, like the way they work is not.
So they
We end up not even working, and like I was 100% looking forward to at the work, but like it eventually doesn't materialize, and then there are those kind of situations, but most of the time I enjoy it. I enjoy it so much because I get exposed to other dimensions. Yeah.
So I hear you talking about learning, right? And it's quite important when you go through life, you learn a lot. So now my question is, what is that one experience you took a lesson from that you go through your life thinking, damn, I did this and this and this is what I learned from it. I'll never do this again. You want me to ask it again?
rephrase this question.
Let's ask me this. What is the one advice you walk around with at the back of your head?
Okay, so coming to what you asked first, Ambo. Okay, I would go back to that thing, but I'm not there now. Ambo. So that thing is me basking
Okay.
in Company's Garden.
Okay.
And Sipo, and then wherever I did trains, wherever I did. One thing I learned from that I was not exposed to, because like in the hood, there's mostly like hip hop artists, and like there's egos, there's entitlement. So I learned that no one owes you shit. So you have to deal with yourself in order for the other person to see the reflection. Yeah.
Okay, so the next question, in terms of, that you grew up in Barcelona, which is an informal settlement, out there could be you know what I'm saying? And that is your background, that is where you came from. And my question is, would you choose a different background, or do you think that background what shaped you Do you think you'd have been more satisfied if you had a better advantage or a better kickstart, or you happy yourself in the bottom and then made your way up there? Make sense?
It makes sense. But the thing is that there's an honest thing about humans, which is we don't choose where we grow up or where you get it. So honestly, I wouldn't know if what would have turned out to be if I was somewhere else, if I was someone else, or like maybe born in the burbs.
It's fucked up because you're not having, but it gives you a private school tutoring, you know, so all this music class.
Yeah. So like I'm grateful for my upbringing, but at the same time, I know that I'm worth more than where I come from. Like I'm a jamming it down. Yeah. So, but I'm grateful, honestly. Like everything that is Khofhi is from a Barcelona, and understanding the fact that because like there's a thing, dog. There's a thing that happened when I was young. From primary school. At least in primary school, it was nice. Yeah, but like coming from a Barcelona, you know, like some of your classmates come from a Gools, like a Zinfini. There was no too much pressure at primary, honestly. But in high school, so nifunda balanga, grade 8 balanga, and like you get to know each other. Grade 8, it's like still settled in the current state. People are weird. But when you're a guy getting to know each other, I shall Gools. Be Gools, I 108. Never wanted anyone to know.
It's just on the Barcelona.
Yeah, you get what I mean? Yes. To be honest with you, isn't the Jans in this hood, they didn't know where I live at Gools. They thought I'm living in a nice home at 108. I remember there's a day that we came from a Hazeltine to a Guguletwe, and we're walking. I'm on the way, I'm like, shit, was a Johnny. These niggas are going back home. They would want to see my home. Shit, so John. I remember split up with blood, goals. Sapritan, ish, yes, the children handle which or something. But like we're going at my house and we're going to get my clothes because like I'm gonna spend some time for holidays. And then I remember Sifika past the graveyard and I was like, hey niggas, wait for me here. Because my mom doesn't like to visit. And if she knows where I'm going to, I would DJ there. I was like, what's happening now? I don't know what I am. So, tifuna ninga know what I did? I asked them to wait pana back in. Man, nansi kasi ngena apa. But I decided to go.
Took the long.
Because I didn't want them to see where I go in. And then I quickly grabbed my stuff and then I went again to that long route to come back. So that's how tense I used to hide where I live until I realized that I can create something out of where I live. You understand? And now I'm very not proud, but like I acknowledge where I come from. Yeah, I understand. And
On that, so of course you get a lot of upcoming artists who come from a lot of disadvantaged backgrounds who might share the same field you had or be to the same experience that you had coming up, whereby they feel like ashamed of where they actually come from, where they grew up, or how they grew up. What is advice that you give those up and coming artists in terms of how to get over that stigma? How to get them or to think over the fact that no, I'm disadvantaged. This is where I come from. I can't be shit because I come from here. You know what I'm saying? What advice would you give those guys coming up?
Yo, I'm bad with advice. To be honest, like honestly, I'm horrible with advices, especially advices that has to do with being an artist or like a creator. Cause the thing is that I'm unique. You get what I mean? And honestly, you won't be me. You can't be me. And I can't be anyone else. That's the thing. Then that's the misconception of that. I wanna be like, honestly, let's tell. And then you think you know them through social media, or through them appearing on TV. You know nothing about that person. You don't know how they came out, and you don't know how many days they slept without eating, or even walked from a long distance to get a record deal or one song headline. You get what I mean? So I can't advise someone based on what they see now. Khofhi, this Khofhi, it's gonna be very, very biased. But just to give the gents context, is that most of the most authentic content in South Africa comes from Mjondolo.
Facts.
Comes from Mjondolo.
Facts.
Watch any TV show,
Yes, that's
go and watch any interview of any artist. By teeny percentage of the niggas that come from Mjondolo, or even in the streets, for that matter. So you still have a home, you still have a shelter, you still have both everything. You can speak. You've done school, maybe from primary to high school, even if you didn't do your grade 12. But if you have this, dog, you have a lot. You have a lot.
This is actually a great segue for the question I'm about to ask. From what you just said, people appreciate the fact that they have both hands and both feet. And to just include the fact, the story just told us about going with your friends, and then you're like, no, wait, I'm familiar. Do you feel like those type of stuff have influenced you into appreciating the little things?
Honestly, dog, yeah. You know why? I love my niggas, ne? I really love them. They know me. I love them so much. But there's like smallest things that I was like, but yeah, these niggas, there were instances whereby DJ songed and we want the same common thing. And I was like, dudes, let's invest in our own sound, our own CDJs. Do you know what happens?
What happens?
Niggas cry to their parents.
And niggas lose.
There's too much where they drive, a Tesla drive, every kind of alcohol we used to have, bro. Cap funny about to alcohol. One two in there, I pull me, dog. And then when I come from man, it didn't contribute much. So you have nothing to say. You can't say much. You understand? But Yan lied, that all. Yan lied, and I was like, damn, I'm a great decision maker more than this chance.
Yeah,
I understand. And I was like, if ever maybe I was born in the same situation as them, maybe. And I'm getting into get what I mean? So I believe that, like, coming from nothing can really, really shape you.
Okay. That's one of the lines of today's episode. Coming from nothing can really shape you. Now, just to talk about your friends, right? With all honesty, do you think your genuine friends do you think your genuine friends, the reason why I'm asking this was because you couldn't be genuine yourself in front of it.
Yeah.
So do you think that those were just your genuine friends, or it was just a stage in your life?
Because to add on that, I feel like if you have genuine friends or like real ass niggas, you don't feel the need to hide your situation.
Yeah.
You get what I'm saying? We get to the point where you find like, oh, these niggas are going to judge me, then I feel some type of way because of where I come from.
I'm a king, coming from the ghetto. I'm on fire, Silalang of Lilo. I'm a king, coming from the ghetto. I'm on fire, Silalang of Lilo. Mama, Can you help me as I'm taking a step? I wanna be a good kid and start to rap. Dedicate songs till my father comes back. Rap about peace. I'm a king, coming from the ghetto. I'm on fire, sunalang umlilo. Uso, gucha, uso, gucha. I'm a king, coming from the ghetto. I'm on fire, sunalang umlilo.